Welcome to the Floridaville Express. This show is hosted and produced by the team at Rocket Ship Consultants, and it's based on our popular podcast, The Floridaville. The Floridaville Express is a condensed show, and each week we highlight people who are making an impact on or in Florida. I'm Jeanne Curtin, an attorney, a Florida Supreme Court certified circuit mediator, and I'm the business partnership director with Rocket Ship Consultants.
And I'm Rosanna Catalano. I'm an attorney and the founder of Rocket Ship Consultants, a strategic communications firm. And our mission is to launch your business or organization and take it to the next level.
Our guest tonight is Frank Ramos, who's a partner with the Clarke Silverglate firm in Miami, where he practices in the areas of commercial litigation, drug and medical device products, and catastrophic personal injury. Welcome to the show, Frank.
Thanks for having me.
Frank, for our audience members that are unfamiliar with commercial litigation and catastrophic personal injury, can you give us some examples and explain to us what that type of law practice entails?
Sure. On the personal injury side, we represent companies in a whole host of areas, whether it's drug and medical device or personal injury autos or premises, generally in higher claims where the damages are more significant, either loss of life or loss of limb. And on the commercial side, we generally handle breach of contracts, often, again, on the defense side, but sometimes on the plaintiff side, often in commercial matters, it's really on who files first versus who's plaintiff versus defendant.
Okay. We know that giving back is important to you. How did you get involved in mentoring?
You know, it's something I started early on. I graduated in 97. Around 2001, I started having sort of an imposter syndrome. I wasn't sure if I was really good at what I did or if I was being somewhat fraudulent. And I started writing these short form articles for various legal publications, which were nothing more than a summary of what I thought I knew about various aspects of the practice, how to argue a motion, how to draft a motion, how to draft interrogatories. And these are typically 600-800 word articles I put out there. And primarily they were more for me than anybody else to confirm that I actually knew what I was doing. And I developed quickly kind of a following of other young lawyers who were happy to see, one, that there was people out there giving them very pragmatic and practical advice, and two, that there were other attorneys who felt the way they did in terms of just the insecurities they were facing and struggling with. And so off and on over the years, I've been doing a lot in terms of trying to mentor and write and speak. And I would want to say probably in 2016, I started posting daily on LinkedIn, which is sort of my platform of choice for social media, where each day I post something directed to young lawyers or law students. And I've been doing that now over 5 years, and that includes weekends and holidays. And I've shared books and publications and podcasts and developed a bit of a following there, and just find sort of a place and created a safe space for people who can kind of get advice, and then they can reach out to me either through direct messaging, or often I'll give up my cell phone number or my email address and reach people either by phone or by Zoom messages after hours and the weekends, because I think a lot of the issues that young lawyers face are the same ones I faced not that long ago, and they're kind of universal. And whether the attorney is in Florida or another state or even in another country, a lot of what they're facing is issues that I and you and everybody else has faced during our careers.
One of my next questions is going to be the why you got involved, and you already touched on that. It was that imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of us, I know I certainly went through that. Like, did I really pass the bar? Am I really, am I really an attorney? What am I doing? Were there any other, so you've been doing this, as you said, since early on in your career. Were there any other reasons that kept you going with the mentoring?
I think the feedback primarily, like sometimes we don't appreciate the impact we're having on other people. We help somebody, we provide some encouragement, we write an article or make a presentation, and one day we get a handwritten note in the mail, or another day we get voicemail left on our office phone. We dial it in, and somebody who says that whatever we said or wrote had a deep and significant impact on their career and trajectory of their lives. And those sorts of things, even though they're small, are very life affirming and make you realize that you're making an impact. And for people who are listening, if you do have somebody who's mentoring you, make an effort to thank them and to show some appreciation, and, send them a letter or give them a call. Even if somebody who mentored you many years ago, I think those types of encouragements keep them going and keeps helping them pay it forward.
I think you're so right on that, hearing from a mentee or thanking a mentor really can have significant impact both ways, that relationship. So thank you for what you're doing.
No, thank you.
I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Phipps Reporting tonight. Phipps Reporting has been providing exceptional service to the legal community for more than 30 years. Now let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I want to hear how you got involved with mentoring. At Rocket Ship Consultants, our mission is to take your organization to the next level. Our team develops strategic communication plans that help entrepreneurs, corporations, associations, and individuals reach new heights. Our consulting team is made up of attorneys with additional experience in journalism, public relations, politics, broadcasting, and advocacy. Let us help you take that dream you have for a podcast or video show and make it into a reality. We can create networking opportunities, educational forums, and interactive conferences to spread your message. Let our team provide you with fresh ideas and inspiration. Rocket Ship Consultants offers a variety of services, so check out our website at rocketshipconsultants.com. Take off with Rocket Ship Consultants and launch your organization with us.
Welcome back. Our guest tonight is litigator Frank Ramos with the law firm of Clarke Silverglate in Miami. Now, you talked a little bit before we went to the commercial break about what you do in terms of mentoring. And it sounds like you have a lot of hands-on with the people you're mentoring. Can you tell our audience a little bit about how much time you're investing? Because on both ends, I want mentees to realize that you are, and all the mentors are investing in them, but also for people who maybe have said, I don't have time to be a mentor. Maybe kind of walk us through what that time commitment looks like, because I'd like to encourage other people to be mentors and also mentees to be really respectful and appreciative of the time that's being invested in them.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think there's different levels and different rules of engagement for mentor-mentee relationships. And if you're a more seasoned lawyer, and seasoned doesn't have to be somebody who's been doing this for 30 years, it could be somebody who's been doing it only for 5 or 6 years. It may just be taking a cup of coffee once a month, or having a Zoom call once a month, or having an email mentoring. I know the Florida Bar has tried that in the past, where they've had e-mentors. It's as much time as you want to put into it. There are lots of lawyers out there who have no mentors, who have nobody to speak or consult with, and somebody who's willing to give them even a small amount of time is better than no time. And so that's really up to the mentor, and it's really up to how much time you're willing to commit. Try to find somebody that you have something in common with in terms of your practice area, maybe in terms of your hobbies, so it's easier to develop a more deeper bond. And maybe at some point you guys want to get together and do something more social. That's certainly helpful. Try to find somebody maybe in your backyard, in the same town or city or county, and try to make it personalized. Again, I try to do a couple of things. I have a coffee shop right across the street from my office, outside the window, called the Bistro Bakery, and I go there maybe 2 to 3 times a week and meet individuals for coffee. And then I also have a rum bar, which is right outside the view of this camera, where I have people over for drinks after hours. Often young lawyers, though sometimes it's more seasoned lawyers as well. And I think with COVID being what it is, and us being all socially distancing and kind of only meeting virtually, there's sort of a need, a sort of pent up urge to get together on a personal level. And so coffee, drinks, breakfast, lunch, whatever it might be. So from the mentor perspective, it could be as little or as much time as you want. And from the mentee perspective, obviously, you want to take an appreciation and respect for the person's time, and have a sense of what you really want to accomplish from the relationship. I think for most people, it's trying to get a sense of their career and trajectory of their career and where they want to go and what they need to do to different point A to point B. For some others, it's more personal strategic planning and, what are my goals and mission and vision and values and so forth. And some of it is just maybe a little bit of hand holding. Some of it's reassurance, confidence building. I think each person needs to define for him or herself what they're looking for and someone to mentor them. And whether or not, a lot of what they want they can get online, either through virtual mentoring or through other resources, or how much of it is more on the personal level. And people interact differently with different situations. You have to know who you are and what type of relationship you're looking for. There's some people who, I like to think I virtually mentor a lot of young lawyers, and for most of them, I've never spoken to them, and occasionally they'll message me or email me about a book I've written or a presentation I've given that has helped them answer some questions. So you don't have to have a one-on-one mentoring. You can certainly do it online, or you can do it through articles you write. A lot of the stuff we learn in our profession, it's become somewhat second nature to us, and we can easily sit down and crank out a 600 to 800 word article in probably 30, 45 minutes. And for us, again, it's not something earth shattering, but for somebody who's much younger and less seasoned, would be very helpful in their practice.
So speaking of that rum bar, so what you're saying is we actually should have recorded this in person at your office rather than remotely.
You're always welcome to come down. Actually, can I? Let me see if I can turn. Oh, there we go.
My
If you turn the
goodness.
camera right there, a little.
What?
There's a
We're doing this wrong,
photograph,
Jeanne.
and there's rum.
Obviously.
And
We're doing this very wrong.
And there's more rum down there. So anyway, so yeah. I mean, it's an intriguing way of interacting with people. My wife, who thought I was getting a little crazy with the bottles, made me bring them to work, and so I actually have some more over here that you can't see. Can you bring over here? Can you bring? Oh wait, there we go. There's some more over there. So there they go.
This is awesome.
All right, so that gives you a nice sense. So if you guys are ever in Miami, you're welcome to come by, and
We're
going to
coming
take you
by.
up on that.
there are about 80 bottles here, I think, actually.
Yes, we are totally taking you up on that.
It's all rum. It's nothing else. That's the only thing I drink, and the only thing I
That's
actually
okay.
have any expertise on. I can't really opine on any other spirits or beer or wines.
So for young attorneys watching our show tonight, what advice would you give them regarding their careers?
I think if you can specialize early on, do that. And that seems counterintuitive because most young lawyers think, well, the more they know and the more generalized they are, the more job opportunities they have. But I think that more quickly you can find your niche and your specialty, the faster you can get clients. And that's really sort of what's going to differentiate yourself from other attorneys. Let's say you really like cybersecurity. That's a very specialized area. One, there are not that many lawyers in that region or area of specialty. It's not going to take as long to learn that one area of law than maybe 6 or 7 different areas of law. So within a year, you can quite honestly become an expert in that area, and start speaking and writing on it, and then start attracting clients in that area, and start handling a lot of the same cases. There are a lot of lawyers, especially solo practitioners and small firms, who are handle lots of different practice areas, and God bless them for that. But it is tough to really be a jack of all trades. It's really difficult. And so, again, kind of doesn't seem like it kind of cuts against conventional wisdom, but if you can figure out what you really enjoy and you're passionate about and specialize it earlier in your career, you're actually going to have more opportunities, not fewer.
You received your undergraduate degree from Florida International University and then your law degree from the University of Miami. Can you tell us a bit about college and law school and how your education impacted your career path?
I'm a big believer in state schools. I'm a big believer because of the cost, largely because of the cost. FIU, I was actually on scholarship there, but obviously, whether it's FIU or FSU in your case, or UF or USF or half dozen other state schools that are in Florida, such a large state, it makes such a huge difference. And law school is the same way. FIU has a FSU, UF all have state schools. There's an article just today, I think in the Wall Street Journal, talking about the differential between the loans taken out by students at University of Miami and what they're earning in their first and second year. And it's astronomical. I don't know how they're ever going to pay off their debt. So my advice to people who are just starting off in law school and have committed to becoming lawyers and haven't decided where to go to a state school, and then go to a state college or to a state law school, and do well there. Commit yourself, try to get on law review, try to do moot court. If you don't, that's fine, but do your best. But graduating with a lot of debt is very limiting, and it's very overwhelming, and it's very stressful, and can lead to depression and anxiety. And I know a lot of young lawyers who have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, they basically have a mortgage and have no way of paying it off.
I remember I taught at the FSU Law School several years ago, and I remember one student in particular, oh, well, I'm going to go overseas for the summer and I'll just tack it on to my student loan. And I was just thinking, oh, my dear, you're good. Don't do that.
Right.
It's just going to haunt you. You may enjoy that couple months, but long run, you're going to pay for it. So.
Exactly. So Frank, who are your mentors?
I have a different sets of mentors. Throughout the years, I've reached out to different lawyers and different individuals, depending on what skill set I was trying to develop. If it was public speaking, I reached out to certain lawyers. If it was leadership, I reached out to others. What I typically do on a fairly regular basis, I try to decide which skills I'm really trying to work on, and then I identify lawyers who I feel really excel in that area. It could be trial skills, could be public speaking, could be whatever it might be. And then I reach out to them and I'll ask them for coffee, or ask them for a virtual meeting, and ask them what books they're reading, what CLE they're watching, what they did, who are their mentors, and who do they follow. And I'll go out and I'll kind of learn as much as I can in that area. Public speaking is so instrumental. And I remember a lawyer telling me, oh, you really should do improv. And so I did improv for a couple of classes, and that really helped in my public speaking. I never would have thought of that, but for having that conversation. So that's kind of my approach to it.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I think the best piece of advice is accepting failure as part of the process of developing as a lawyer. I think many people going to law school are kind of perfectionists and really struggle with falling down. And it's the law, and it's funny because a lot of people go into business kind of expect failure. Like, most businesses fail and they get up and they file for bankruptcy and they try again. And it's like, I don't know what it is about the paradigm that we have in law school, but so many people I know in law school were very much perfectionists. And the idea of falling or failing or tripping up was just anathema to them. And some people I know in business, just like, yeah, okay, it failed. So what? Now I know how not to do it. And I think the best advice I have for young lawyers is, like, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw things up. You're going to take bad depositions. You're going to screw up the hearings. You're going to upset judges. You're going to piss off clients. And, it is what it is. And to be afraid of that is really limiting. And I see too many lawyers, especially young lawyers, who never develop or evolve because they are so worried about looking bad or dumb or less than whatever they have in their minds. And I make mistakes all the time. Like, I've done a lot of writing, and I would say, I've written 20 books and about 400 articles. The first 100 articles I wrote sucked. I don't know how to say it. I mean, they were terrible. And I've done maybe over 100 presentations. The first 20, 30 presentations were pretty bad. And if I had let the fact that they were going to be bad hold me back, I never would have done the first one. And, you got to start somewhere. I just started in Peoria to make it to Carnegie Hall. So it's a process, and it's a very humbling process. But in order to get good at something, you have to be bad at it first. You kind of have to suck at it. And so I think that's the best advice. Don't be afraid of failing. Don't be afraid of embarrassing yourself or having people look at you, sideways. It's eventually you'll get better at it, and you'll improve, and your failures will kind of be in the review sooner than you think.
Excellent words of advice.
Your candor is so refreshing.
Yes.
I mean, it's true. It's like, I remember my first articles. I'm like I didn't even keep my articles. I'm sure they were like horrific. It's like I don't want to keep this for. This is terrible. So
now, if members of our audience want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
I have a website. It's called miamimentor.com. It's a site where I have most of my books, all of them, but one are free. I have training videos and deposition skills and leadership skills. I have forums. I have web podcasts, and they're all there. And the point of the website was sort of like having a clearinghouse of my materials that young lawyers, law students can go to. And there's a way to reach me on the website. If they want to reach me through the website, that's fine. And but it's sort of a place where I guess it's kind of like a safe place where young lawyers can go and get a lot of the resources they can get without having to bother their partner or their supervising attorney.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for that, Frank. And thank you for joining us. We're so grateful to have you and to have your honesty tonight. It's just refreshing. That wraps up tonight's episode of the Floridaville Express. Be sure to tune in on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern to catch our show live. And remember, you can watch previous episodes of the Floridaville Express on our YouTube channel and on Facebook.
Now, have you been wanting to create a video show or podcast like this one? We can help you with that. Our company, Rocket Ship Consultants, can strategize with you and help you successfully launch your multimedia shows, events, or fundraisers. And we can also ensure your virtual meetings and conferences are polished and professional. So contact us for more information so we can help you focus a spotlight on the important work that you and your team are doing. Also tonight, thank you very much to our sponsor, Phipps Recording. We appreciate your support. Reporting. We appreciate your support. And for all of our viewers in the legal community, you need to get to know Phipps Reporting. So thanks again for joining us tonight, everyone. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us.